I love being around water, and locks have always fascinated me. I was the ideal candidate for the Soo Locks boat tour. They knew it. They knew they had me as I stepped up to the ticket counter. Upon leaving our slip that morning, we were warned that if sitting outside, we might want to cover our ears. Soon we were headed toward Lake Huron, the second largest of the Great Lakes. Superior, as the name suggests, is the largest. It was along the shore of Lake Michigan, where I had just spent the last 3 weeks serving as a United Methodist nomad. This was Henry and my first time to venture into the famed UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. After boarding, we learned that our tour would be a little longer than the scheduled 2-hour tour. Normally, there are 2 sets of locks available, the Canadian lock and the United States lock. Today, the Canadian lock was down for repairs, and there was a backlog of ships wanting to get through. We therefore had a very extended tour down and around the St. Mary's River, which connects the 2 Great Lakes. Coming out of the locks now, we could see a huge freighter, the American Integrity. At 1,000 feet in length, she is one of the largest 12 ships navigating the Great Lakes. We watched her pass and head downriver. Coming up the river, we could now see the Canadian freighter, the Niagara. We were told we would be going through the lock at the same time as her. Next in line to go through was the Canadian Manitoulin, smaller than the Integrity, but still a large sailing vessel. We watched her move toward and into the locks. Looking back down the river, we saw that our Niagara was getting closer. On the other side of the lock, waiting for their turn to come through the lock toward us after the Manitoulin had exited, were 2 excursion boats. We were next after the excursion boats had exited. We waited. The Niagara had now caught up to us and was passing by.
So we're going to blow our whistle, so you guys up front, you might want to cover your ears if your ears are sensitive. Okay.
It was about time for the 2 excursion boats to come out of the locks so that we could take their place. Here came the first one. It passed by. The next one was a sister excursion boat to ours and looked just like we did. It also passed by. It was now time for us to move into the lock ahead of the Niagara.
So there'll be a little bump, hopefully as gentle as possible, but we'd like everybody who's standing up to hang on, please.
The lock walls were lined with a rubber material so as not to scrape and scar the sides of the ships. It was time for our ship crew to toss our mooring rope up to a man above to secure our boat to the side of the lock.
Well, usually I can get it. For some reason, I'm not doing it today.
It took 3 tries.
You can do it!
But soon our boat was secure. We watched as the Niagara creeped into the lock and slowly approached us. We were assured that she would halt before smashing into us. She got closer and closer. Once we were both in the lock together, and both secured to the moorings, the water started to flow into the lock from Lake Superior, and we started to rise up the wall. The water level in Lake Superior is 21 feet higher than Lake Huron. We would need to rise 21 feet. The mooring ropes were kept tight to take up the slack as we rose. We kept rising until we were standing above the top of the lock, and we had reached the water level of Lake Superior. Now, our wait for the lock door to slowly open and let us through. It was a surprise to me that neither the American nor the U.S. side charged anything for use of the lock. Any boat or ship can go through the lock for free. Finally, the huge safety arm was lifted out of our way. Our motors were started, and we headed upriver to Lake Superior. Despite the 2-hour tour taking 4.5 hours, I thoroughly enjoyed and will always remember our Soo Locks boat tour.